Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that everything you worked for has fallen apart. The plan failed. The relationship ended. The opportunity disappeared. The money you thought you would make never came. And suddenly the person you thought you were no longer exists. Failure has a strange way of doing that. It doesn't just take away your success. Sometimes it makes you question your identity. You start asking yourself, what is wrong with me? Why can't I succeed? Why does everyone else seem to be moving forward while I'm stuck here? And the most dangerous thought comes next. Maybe I'm just not capable anymore. But what if failure isn't proof that you are weak? What if it's the moment when your real strength finally gets a chance to appear? The Stoics understood something most people learn far too late. You cannot always control what happens to you. You cannot control rejection. You cannot control losing. You cannot control someone leaving. You cannot control an opportunity disappearing. But you can control what you do next. Marcus Aurelius faced war, political betrayal, illness, death, and uncertainty throughout his life. Yet he repeatedly returned to one fundamental principle: your circumstances do not have the final word. Your response does. So if life has broken your plans, listen carefully. You don't need to rebuild your entire life today. You don't need to become fearless overnight. You don't even need to know exactly where you're going. You only need to make one decision. You will rise again. Not because life suddenly became easier, not because someone came to save you, but because you finally understood that falling is an event, not an identity. And in this video, we're going to break down the Stoic way to rise after failure, rebuild your confidence, regain your discipline, and become stronger than the person who existed before the fall. Because sometimes, the life you build after failure becomes far stronger than the life you lost. Now comes the hardest part of rising after failure. You have to stop fighting what already happened. Most people don't stay trapped because they failed. They stay trapped because they keep replaying the failure in their mind. They remember the mistake, the rejection, the person who walked away, the opportunity they lost, and every time they remember it, they ask the same question: what if I had done things differently? But there is a problem with that question. The past doesn't answer. It only takes more of your attention. You can spend months wishing you had made a different decision, chosen a different person, taken a different opportunity, or reacted differently, but none of that changes yesterday. The Stoics called this a fundamental distinction. Some things are within your control, some things are not. Your past is not. What happened is not. What someone decided is not. What you lost is not. But your next decision is. Your next action is. Your attitude is. Your discipline is. And that is where your power begins. Think about it. If you keep staring at the door that closed, you won't notice the door opening in front of you. Failure becomes dangerous when you turn it into a permanent story about yourself. You say, I failed, and slowly your mind changes it into, I am a failure. Those two sentences are completely different. One describes an event, the other creates an identity. Never confuse the two. You can lose money without becoming worthless. You can lose a relationship without losing your ability to love. You can lose a job without losing your ability to build. You can make a terrible decision without becoming a terrible person. Failure is information. It can show you what didn't work. It can expose weaknesses you never noticed. It can reveal who was truly there for you. And sometimes, it can force you to develop qualities that comfort never would have created. So instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Ask a better question. What can this experience teach me? That single change in perspective can transform failure from a prison into a teacher. Maybe you need stronger boundaries. Maybe you need better discipline. Maybe you trusted the wrong person. Maybe you ignored warning signs. Maybe you were chasing something that wasn't actually meant for you. Learn the lesson, then let the chapter close, because the goal isn't to pretend the failure never happened. The goal is to make sure it wasn't wasted. A Stoic doesn't deny pain. A Stoic uses pain as material. And if you can learn from what broke you, then it didn't break you for nothing. Once you accept what happened, the next challenge begins. You have to start moving again. And this is where many people make a mistake. After failure, they want to fix everything at once. They want a new career, a stronger body, more money, a better relationship, more confidence, a completely different life. But when your confidence is damaged, trying to rebuild your entire life overnight can make you feel even more defeated. The Stoic approach is different. Start small. Start deliberately. Start today. You don't need a massive victory to regain your strength. You need evidence that you can still keep a promise to yourself. Wake up when you said you would. Finish the workout you planned. Complete the task you've been avoiding. Read 10 pages. Put your phone away for an hour. Go for a walk when you don't feel like moving. These actions may look insignificant, but they're not. Every time you do what you said you would do, you send a message to your own mind. I can trust myself again. That is how confidence is rebuilt. Not through positive thinking, not through pretending everything is fine, through action. Imagine someone who has fallen while climbing a mountain. They don't stand at the bottom staring at the summit for hours, wondering how they will reach it. They take the next step, then another, then another. Your comeback works the same way. Don't obsess over becoming the strongest version of yourself. Focus on becoming slightly stronger than yesterday. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught that progress begins with what is in front of you. Your life may not be where you want it to be. Fine. But what can you control today? Your morning, your work, your body, your attention, your words, your choices, your response. Start there. Because when everything feels uncertain, routine becomes an anchor. Create a few non-negotiable habits. Get up at a consistent time. Move your body. Do meaningful work. Limit distractions. Spend time alone without running from your thoughts. And before you sleep, ask yourself, did I live today according to the person I want to become? You don't need a perfect answer. You need an honest one. Some days you will fail again. That's part of the process. But don't let one bad day convince you that you're back at the beginning. You are not starting from zero. You are starting with experience. You know what failure feels like. You know what it costs. You know what mistakes you made. And now you have something you didn't have before: wisdom. Your next chapter doesn't begin when you feel ready. It begins when you take the next step. And sometimes, one disciplined step is enough to change the direction of your entire life. There is another trap that keeps people stuck after failure, waiting to feel ready. You tell yourself, I'll start when my confidence comes back. I'll try again when I'm less afraid. I'll make my move when I know it will work. But confidence rarely comes before action. Confidence is usually created by action. Think about the last time you accomplished something difficult. You probably weren't completely fearless before you started. You started while uncertain. You learned while moving. You became confident because you survived the discomfort. The same thing happens after failure. If you wait until you feel completely confident before trying again, you may wait forever. The Stoics didn't believe life needed to feel comfortable before you acted. They understood that uncertainty is part of being human. You don't need to know exactly how everything will turn out. You need to decide what the next right action is. Maybe you lost your job. Your next action might be updating your resume and applying for one opportunity. Maybe a relationship ended. Your next action might be accepting the reality instead of checking their profile every night. Maybe your business failed. Your next action might be studying what went wrong and testing a smaller idea. Maybe you made a financial mistake. Your next action might be creating a plan and changing the behavior that caused it. Notice something. None of these actions require you to have your entire future figured out. They only require you to stop standing still. This is where discipline becomes more important than motivation. Motivation says, I'll do it when I feel like it. Discipline says, I'll do it because I decided it matters. After failure, discipline becomes your bridge back to confidence. Some days you'll feel powerful. Other days you'll feel completely exhausted. On those days, don't demand greatness from yourself. Demand consistency. Do the small thing. Take the walk. Make the call. Write the page. Submit the application. Finish the workout. Turn off the distraction. One action, then another. This is how you rebuild momentum. And momentum changes how you see yourself. At first you might think, I'm trying to become strong again. Eventually, you start thinking, I am someone who keeps going. That identity is powerful, because once you become the person who refuses to quit, failure loses some of its power over you. You may still fall, you may still lose, you may still experience disappointment, but you won't stay down as long. And that's what resilience really means. Not never falling, getting better at rising. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for confidence to magically return. Take the next step while you're still afraid. Because the version of you who rises after failure is built by the steps you take before you feel ready. But there comes a point where simply recovering isn't enough. You have to decide what you're going to do with the pain. Because failure can take you in two completely different directions. It can make you bitter, or it can make you better. The difference isn't what happened. The difference is what you choose to build from it. Maybe someone betrayed you. Don't spend the rest of your life becoming someone who trusts nobody. Learn to recognize patterns. Maybe you lost an opportunity. Don't spend your future proving that the person who rejected you was wrong. Build something so meaningful that their opinion no longer matters. Maybe you failed publicly. Don't hide forever because you're afraid of being embarrassed again. Use the experience to become more prepared. This is what makes resilience so powerful. You stop asking, how do I get my old life back? And start asking, who can I become because of what happened? That's a completely different question. The first one keeps you looking backward. The second one forces you to look forward. Marcus Aurelius faced events he couldn't simply remove from his life. His response was not to complain about having an imperfect life. He focused on what remained within his control. His judgment, his actions, his character, his duty, and you can do the same. You may not be able to erase the failure, but you can decide what it produces in you. More discipline, more patience, better judgment, stronger boundaries, greater self-awareness, a deeper understanding of what actually matters. Sometimes failure removes illusions that success allowed you to keep. It shows you who genuinely supports you. It reveals which habits were holding you back. It exposes where you were depending too much on other people's approval. And it forces you to discover whether your confidence was built on results or on character. That's why you shouldn't rush to erase every painful experience from your memory. Study it. Ask yourself, what did I ignore? What did I do wrong? What was outside my control? What could I have done differently? What will I never repeat? Then take the lesson and leave the shame behind. Because there is a difference between responsibility and self-punishment. Responsibility says, I made a mistake. I'll learn from it. Self-punishment says, I made a mistake. Therefore, I deserve to suffer forever. Only one of those creates growth. You don't honor your past by staying broken because of it. You honor it by becoming wiser because of it. So if failure has brought you to your knees, don't waste all your energy asking why you fell. Ask yourself something more powerful. What can I build from here? Because the strongest version of you may not be the person who never failed. It may be the person who finally learned how to use failure as fuel. There is one more thing you need to understand if you truly want to rise again. Your comeback cannot depend on someone else. Not their apology, not their approval, not their return, not their belief in you, and not even their recognition of what they did to you. If you build your recovery around proving someone wrong, they still control you. You may look stronger on the outside, but mentally, you're still waiting for their reaction. Stoicism teaches something far more powerful. Build a life that no longer requires their permission. If someone left, let them leave. If someone underestimated you, let them. If someone laughed at your failure, let them laugh. You don't need to win the argument. You need to win back your own attention. Because attention is one of the most valuable things you have. Every hour you spend thinking about what someone said is an hour you are not spending rebuilding yourself. Every night you spend imagining what you should have said is another night stolen from your future. You cannot rise while constantly looking backward, so create a comeback that is private. Work when nobody's watching. Improve when nobody is applauding. Read when nobody cares. Train when nobody notices. Save money when nobody knows. Build your skills quietly. Let your results speak later. This doesn't mean you should isolate yourself from everyone. It means your progress shouldn't require an audience. One of the greatest forms of strength is being able to say, "I will do this even if nobody notices." That's discipline. And discipline creates something failure often destroys: self-trust. When you repeatedly keep promises to yourself, you become harder to break. You stop needing constant motivation. You stop needing someone to push you. You stop waiting for the perfect conditions. You simply do what needs to be done. And remember this: a comeback is not always dramatic. Sometimes it looks like getting out of bed after a terrible night. Sometimes it looks like refusing to send that angry message. Sometimes it looks like going back to work after rejection. Sometimes it looks like exercising when your mind tells you to stay down. Sometimes it looks like choosing peace instead of revenge. Nobody may see these victories, but you will. And those small victories become the foundation of the person you're becoming. So don't measure your comeback by how quickly your life looks successful again. Measure it by how much control you've regained. Are you thinking more clearly? Are you reacting less? Are you keeping your promises? Are you making better decisions? Are you becoming more disciplined? Are you finally respecting yourself again? Then you're already rising. You don't need everyone to see your comeback. You only need to become someone you can respect when you look in the mirror. And once you reach that point, something changes. You stop trying to prove that you survived. You simply start living again. But there is one final shift you must make. Stop trying to become the person you were before you failed. That version of you belonged to a different chapter. Maybe that person was less disciplined. Maybe they trusted too easily. Maybe they cared too much about other people's opinions. Maybe they ignored warning signs. Maybe they were comfortable because life had not tested them yet. Failure exposed those weaknesses. And instead of wishing you could go back, use what happened to become someone better. Your goal isn't to return to who you were. Your goal is to become someone stronger than who you were. Think about a tree after a storm. The branches may break. Some leaves may disappear. But if the roots remain, the tree can grow again. And sometimes the new branches grow in directions they never would have taken before. You are the same. The failure may have changed your plans. It may have changed your relationships. It may have changed your priorities. But it doesn't have to destroy your future. You can choose what grows next. Start with your identity. Instead of saying, "I'm trying to become disciplined," say, "I am a disciplined person." Then prove it with your actions. Instead of, "I'm trying to become confident," become the person who keeps promises to himself. Instead of, "I'm trying to stop overthinking," become the person who acts on what he can control. Your identity changes when your behavior changes repeatedly. This is why small actions matter so much. One workout doesn't transform your body. One productive day doesn't transform your life. One brave decision doesn't eliminate fear. But repeated actions create evidence. And eventually that evidence becomes identity. You begin to realize, "I survived something I thought would destroy me." That realization creates a different kind of confidence. Not the confidence that comes from everything going perfectly. The confidence that comes from knowing, whatever happens, I can handle my response. That is Stoic strength. You don't need a life without problems. You need a mind that can meet problems without surrendering. So if you're watching this after a painful failure, remember, your story is not finished. This chapter may be ugly. It may be confusing. It may be lonely. But it is still only a chapter. You are not defined by the worst thing that happened to you. You are defined by what you choose to do next. So get up. Not because you're no longer hurting. Get up while you're hurting. Take the next step. Not because you know exactly where it will lead. Take it because standing still will never build the future you want. And one day, you'll look back at this moment and realize something. The failure you thought ended your story was actually the moment. Your real story began. Your life broke. Your plans failed. You fell, but you're still here. And as long as you're still here, you can rise again. So, where do you go from here? You stop waiting for your life to become easier. You stop waiting for the pain to disappear. You stop waiting for someone to tell you that you're going to be okay. You decide to move forward anyway. Because the truth is, there may never be a perfect moment to rebuild your life. There will always be uncertainty. There will always be fear. There will always be another problem waiting around the corner. The Stoic doesn't ask for a life without obstacles. He asks for the strength to face them. So take everything you've learned from your failure. Take the lesson, leave the shame. Take the experience, leave the regret, take the wisdom. Leave the bitterness and begin again. Maybe your comeback starts with one conversation. Maybe it's one application, one workout, one book, one difficult decision, one promise you finally keep to yourself. It doesn't matter how small the first step looks. What matters is that you take it. And when you fall again, and you probably will, remember what you now know. Falling doesn't mean you're finished. A setback doesn't erase your progress. A bad day doesn't cancel your discipline. And one failure does not have the authority to define your entire life. You are allowed to begin again. You are allowed to change direction. You are allowed to become someone new. So don't spend the rest of your life asking why things didn't go the way you wanted. Ask, what will I do with what remains? Because something always remains. Your ability to choose, your ability to act, your ability to learn, your ability to improve, your ability to begin again. And perhaps that is the greatest lesson failure can teach you. You don't need to control the entire future. You only need to control what you do with today. So get up, clean your mind, return to your purpose. Do the next difficult thing, then do it again tomorrow, quietly, patiently, without needing anyone to understand, without needing anyone to applaud, and without needing your old life to come back. Because your next life can be better, not easier, better. Stronger, wiser, more disciplined, more intentional. The person who rises after failure is not the same person who fell. They carry scars, they carry lessons, they carry a deeper understanding of what matters. And that person is harder to destroy. So if life broke you recently, remember this. Broken plans can be rebuilt. Lost opportunities can be replaced. Confidence can return. Strength can be developed. And a person who refuses to stay down can become more powerful than they ever imagined. Your failure was real. Your pain was real. But neither one gets to write the ending. You do. And if you're still standing, or even if you're still trying to stand, your comeback has already begun.